finally, you get to USF making a huge move. They hire Brian Hartline. I think it was a surprise to some people. A lot of people probably thought, Hartline could probably hold out and maybe get like, a power four job or something right away. But I think what you're starting to see, and you could tell this trend, especially with the SEC positions, like you saw everyone tend to hire, except for the Ole Miss, which is a special situation. Everyone hired a sitting head coach. They're now changing their priorities and prioritizing head coach experience. I think Brian Hartline's a smart man. He saw that coming and thought, well, I think USF is a good place to be. You've got a good roster in place right now. The new on-campus stadium is coming next year. This is a program that once was a power conference program once upon a time back in the old days of the Big East. And they're trying to work their way back to that point again. And obviously they fell out of that because they made a lot of mistakes along the way. And they've learned from those. And now what USF is doing to invest in their program now has been really impressive. I think you're seeing this program really just go on a rise. The Bulls made a massive move with Brian Hartline. This is going to be a part of it. Like, he is going to give the Bulls access to recruits within Florida that you really don't see them get. Like, I think they're going to be able to bring in some four-star receivers. His track record of getting guys to the NFL, is beyond what anyone else has really done. So he's going to be able to sell that, and I think you're going to see USF put out a fun offense. And we got some comments in the chat here. Hey, so welcome to the show. Oh, Duke needed him to beat Virginia. Yes, I mean, this is just so great that a 7-5 Duke making the ACC title game is just hilarious, but also like it's also a lot of fun too. And I'm going to be talking about the ACC title a little bit more in depth here in a few minutes. I mean, what an incredible matchup to get where you've got two teams that have not been on the stage in a very long time and they get to face off. So that being said, I am rooting for Duke in that one just because it would be very awesome to see both the American champion and James Madison potentially crash the college football playoff. That would be a lot of fun. We go to one last hire here that happened today, and I definitely wanted to look at UAB making a huge bold move. They end up hiring Steve Englehart from Presbyterian. And I think, sometimes if you haven't followed the FCS level, I think that hire can kind of get looked at and go, huh? What are we doing there? UAB fans, if you're listening, I could tell you, you guys made a great hire. I got to see this Presbyterian team actually from the sidelines. And I were on the sidelines to see them against Dayton earlier this year. This guy is a good culture builder. Knows how to find the diamonds in the rough that programs like UAB needs. He basically won 10 games and beat the number 6 team in FCS on very little resources. Now at least to get to UAB, he's going to have more resources. And we've already kind of seen this year that coaches can jump from the Pioneer League and succeed at the FBS level. We saw Rice improve with Davidson's former coach, Scott Abell. We saw Mike Uremovich go to Ball State from Butler, and he had success. So we got to see that path last year, and it worked out very well. So I think UAB, it's a bold move for UAB, but I think this is something closer to what we saw when UAB got Bill Clark in there. They went with a guy that knows how to win with less resources and someone that's really going to just build a program and build it right. So I think we're going to finally get back to seeing UAB play good football. And Queso, another comment from Queso here. So DB at Texas A&M versus North Texas playoff matchup. Oh, that would be so much fun. In-state battle there in Texas. North Texas being a program that could represent the entire DFW area is just absolutely incredible. I think I posted a stat earlier today, like if North Texas were to make it, That means that all three FBS teams in the DFW area will make the college football playoff, and all of that has happened in the last 4 years. So quite a role that area is on, and yeah, that matchup will be so much fun. Nice little in-state battle there. Good for the state of Texas. It's always great to see teams there playing well.